It's a great day here at KEKFILA's YouTube channel. I am your host, the KEKFILA, and this is game 4 of 9-game series I'm doing with PPG's October 15th. And essentially, I'm playing a game against Rebecca. I'm playing Queen. I'm kind of going through it right now. He's actually using a lot of searches with Rebecca. He's pretty, right now we're both 2 losses, so we're not looking too hot here as far as things go. And I'm planning to use my good strategy, honestly, against Rebecca. And I just start off with a normal good, swinging 5 and playing a blocker to start stacking my deck. My whole plan for this deck, and again, he chose to go second. I probably would have went second if I had the choice. But if I could possibly just see big drops only and just keep on playing a bunch of big drops forever, he won't be able to really deal with all of them over time. If I just see only big drops. That's kind of my goal here with this. I'm going to remove things like Columbus. I can't work around Red Rock if he sees that. If he sees a 10 drop, I can remove the 10 drop with cards. But I start putting in a little bit of pressure here. I swing 5 at his leader with that. Swing 5 at leader with this. I decided to Red Rock this. All right, so he has to be able to combo here soon if he wants to remove the Doflamingo, especially if with the the stage card. So we'll see what he does with that. So my opponent plays 1. He plays the stage now. He must have been holding on to that for a moment. And he swings Cavendish. Cavendish is a very, very good card. Honestly, kind of exactly what we needed to see, especially against my Doflamingo. I'm honestly kind of... I had to ask him, can you read that out to me? To tell you the truth, what Cavendish does, and I'll put it on the screen here, it does that. So it's able to attack me right away. So he attacks my Doflamingo character, which, again, I'm like, I need 3k counter to guard out of that. I'm just going to let that die, because he's going to be able to attack that anyway. And then I go to my turn. He has nothing active. I have 7 Dawn in hand. It sounds like I have a Soja King that's about to come down. And Soja King is actually a pretty good answer here. So with that, I decide to swing 5 at his leader. And he guards out of it with a 1k. And then I tap 7, play down a Soja King. I tell him to pick that up. I get to mill out, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. Again, I'm only looking for big cards here. So I get rid of my little blockers. My little blockers aren't really very useful here. They're just 1k counters. Because he's going to be able to kill those blockers with Luffy, right? So there's not a whole point to... play bad blockers. In this next sense, he actually goes to his 8 Dawn turn. And on that 8 Dawn turn, he thinks here for quite a moment. My player, I would say he's definitely not a slow player, but he's playing Rebecca, so things are definitely going to, never really heat up, I suppose. So he uses a Rebecca skill, gaining. I think he chooses the event, so he can search. He can use that to KO some cards. So actually, he chooses Rebecca because he may already have an event. So his hand's actually pretty stacked. So he plays a Rebecca, and he ends up grabbing a little blocker, I believe. He grabs a Sabo. The other 2 cards go to his trash. So it's hard to really map out Rebecca's hand because they're drawing so many cards as well. Never really know exactly where we're at with that. So he has 6 Dawn left, and he ends up paying 5 for a Sabo. He draws 2 and ditches 1, right? And then he again, wait, what happened there? Oh, he ditches a Luffy as well. He ditches the Luffy character, Cavendish, and a Luffy. So he had to ditch 2, and he kept 1 active because he had nothing else to do with it. And then I go to my turn again. This is my 9 Dawn turn. There isn't much to do here. I want to just get big things out. So I actually open up with 6 at him for some reason. I guess I had nothing better to do. And I end up paying 8. I Katakuri his Sabo to the bottom of his life, face up. And then I swing at him for 6 with my leader. He gives me a 2k counter with that event, which is cool, right? That works out just fine. And then he goes to his turn. With his turn, he starts thinking here for a moment. He's going to start activating skills. As one Rebecca does. He actually plays out his Luffy. And he King Kong guns it. He puts it under like it's a force marker from Vanguard. And he swings big ass at this Katakuri. He swings like 14k at this Katakuri, right? I guess it's 13k. So I'm like, okay, well that's dying, and he puts 7 cards at the bottom of the deck, shows me all the cards he's doing. I say okay, he organizes in whatever direction he wants to go, and then Soja King, he's gonna swing at Soja King. He wants to clear my board. This makes complete sense. This is actually probably beautiful curve on his ascents. So I draw for turn. Again, I don't need to remove this right away, but I'm just gonna do it. I have nothing better to do. I played the Mihawk down, remove that, swing 6 as leader, and he gives me a 2k counter, which then he just goes to his turn instantly. So my turns take 2 seconds, his take 5 minutes. So with that, he goes to his next turn here. He has lots of options. I believe he plays down the option was he just played down a 10-drop Kuzan, KOing nothing, but I have to remove this so he can't like remove my board. So I red rock that right away. I have to waste this card this second. I swing 5 at his leader, and then I swing 9 at his leader. I guess I'm debating if I swing with that. It makes sense I do swing with it. So I pay 4 for the Sanji. I don't attack with the Mihawk. I don't know why I didn't attack. Huh. Maybe that was a mistake. Okay, continuing back on. Okay. I think I made a mistake. I didn't attack with the Mihawk for some reason. Don't know why. Just didn't. So he goes to his turn. He uses Rebecca's skill. He grabs a card out of there. I don't remember what it was, but he ends up paying... God, why would it not be rested? Why would I not attack with that? Oh, I feel so bad. It makes no sense. There must have been a reason. So he does a Kyros. Kyros again. And then plays a blocker. So he ends up like developing a board here, a very wide board against me. And I mean, Kyros is obviously the very obnoxious character here. And with that as well, I end up swinging 6 at his leader. I don't really know where I'm pushing with this one. I guess I don't really care if I lose this or not, but I swing 6 at the leader with this because he can Luffy or attack it anyway. He can attack active characters sometimes. So, but this is rested. Maybe I need to educate myself with what I'm willing to see. So I swing 7. I do this, and then I pay 4. I 3,000 worlds one of the Kyroses, and then I play down a pound. I want to pound the other Kyros, because these Kyroses can get really, really obnoxious, and that's kind of my goal. It's kind of some spice, but I think I may be misplaying a little bit this game. I have only 3 cards in hand, and I'm kind of putting myself in a situation where I need a field here. So he first gets a Luffy off of first skill, and then she ends up playing down a red rock to remove that card. So he's still left with just a few Dawn in his devices. He swings 8 at the Sanji, I pound it, moving it to the bottom of his life. Maybe I could just pound it and not move it to the bottom of his life, just leave it there, and then just swing big. That could have been I could have actually done that. That was a thought. Maybe upping his life isn't the best idea in these situations, especially if I'm going for his life, right? So I swing 10 at his leader. He takes that. I swing down to 10 at his leader. He takes that as well. I guess if he had his Kyros still there, then I have him at 0 life, and I'm having him in a worse situation. So I think actually maybe I baited myself with the pound. Really, really silly about that. I actually, one thing too to know, I put a Mihawk on my trash at the bottom of my deck. I put my bottom of my deck after the fact. So he plays down a Luffy. He actually, this is where I mess up my math. I didn't actually mess up any math. I was like hoping my opponent wasn't good. Which is an asshole thing to do. So I think here for a very long time, and I counter out of the 7k with my hand. I'm just thinking about like what are the options. So I swing out of the 7k with 2k and a 1k. And thinking, okay, he has 3 Dawn left. Like, if he swings 5 with Rebecca, he can kill if I have nothing in my hand. That's all he has to do is survive that, right? So, that happens. He throws a... I do another 2k, 1k, and then he kills the card. So I only have 1 attacker, which puts me somewhat in a disposed spot, especially if he sees any blockers. He's going to see a ton of these blockers. So I actually swing 9 at his leader, and then he ends up giving me a 2k, does he give me anything? No, he just takes it. Okay. So he takes it anyway, and he has a massive hand. And then I have to think here. I mean, if I had him at 0 life, he just couldn't remove my field before. And he'd have to like sustain up with blockers. So honestly, you know, that's sort of my problem, right? I made that mistake. So he drops a Dawn here, and then I decide to use a red rock, I believe. Oh no, I don't use a red rock. Okay, I have a red rock in hand. I wanted a red rock as Luffy, which I could have just done it right there, but I decided to wait for it in case what I want to do is get rid of a blocker and then attack him, right? That's my goal. But maybe I need to see more removal and just actually remove blockers. So I ended up deciding to red rock his Luffy now. Basically, I made the wrong decisions at the wrong time. So definitely kicking myself, especially for pounding that into his life. Now he's at 0 life, and I'm just trying to push through him. And he's just using blockers, and also he's drawing the same amount of counter at the end of the game. So honestly, kind of rough there with how everything was. I'll continue this game a little bit, but essentially to kind of wind it down. At one point he had 6 characters on the side of his field. Again, this doesn't matter. He has 6 characters. He needs to be KOing these characters, right? But again, I didn't quite notice it because I was just trying to deal with what was going on and trying to clear his board and hoping I can swing with this Katakuri. And he's just, or lumbusing things to me, removing my cards to the bottom of the deck. I'm probably making every wrong decision at this point, honestly, with this. I wish I had better analysis for this game, but it came down to really early on. And I made 2 very relevant mistakes, but I don't want to bore you guys too much with how he finished out the game. But essentially, it was just kind of a grind fest of him swinging at me playing blockers that were dying, right? And me trying to swing really big with my leader, but he happened to always have 2 blockers out. So there's no way I could remove one and then attack big, but his hand was already refilled, especially with all the blockers he was getting. So I ended up playing down a Sasaki, drawing 2 cards. I actually redraw the same 2 cards. And he's just waiting to Luffy me. He doesn't even Luffy me. He just throws it on his Bart. He throws that, and he gets double attack. So I take both these attacks. And then he throws down a huge attack right here with Bart, with that, and then he swings with the Cavendish for huge, and I wasn't able to take care of that. So honestly, super, super stressful from my end. I made a handful of mistakes early on, but to look at it before, I would say in this situation, I wish I saw more bigger cards, especially Yamato's. That would have been kind of nice. But regardless of anything what I did with what I saw, I shouldn't have pounded that Kyros to life because I needed just duration down. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching this game again. This was game 4, so there's going to be a couple more games going on here. And I ended up doing pretty well. I know this looks really bad. At 1 win, 3 losses, it's going to only get better, right? It's going to only get better, right? So, I implore you guys, please make sure you guys like and subscribe to the videos. Make sure you guys comment down below what you're liking about it, if you're learning anything, if you're not learning anything, what you kind of looking to do. But thank you all so much for watching again. I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao.